Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
This one's wife. Mental? She's a narcissist. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. I'm just going to get straight down to this. Have a look at this piece of footage. You may well have come across this elsewhere. If you haven't, as you can see, it's this one's wife. Presumably, somewhere in the grounds of her mansion in Monteshitshow, with nothing on her feet, wearing a dress, standing by the road, watching some ducks, as Mother Duck waddles away across with the ducklings. Now, if you'd shown that piece of footage to anybody, there might be a small number of individuals that would go, "Oh, isn't that cute?" and think that it's really lovely that this one's wife decided to share it. Those individuals are soft in the head and are just as bad as her. If you were to say to somebody, this is a woman in her 40s that has chosen to somehow orchestrate the filming of herself near some ducks, and this is her reaction, most will probably think, she's a bit strange, isn't she? A bit over the top. What's going on? I mean, first of all, was it the case that this one's wife just has somebody filming her as she's wandering around the grounds in case something happens, and then just happen to catch her with the ducks so she can then give this, "Oh my God," reaction? If so, that seems a bit strange in itself, albeit, when you know she's a narcissist, having somebody following her around filming her isn't strange in the slightest, because, as a narcissist, she thinks she's in a film of her life anyway. Or was it the case that this one's wife saw the ducks and immediately said to whoever was behind the camera, whether it's Harry or anybody else, "Quick, film me near the ducks, this will look cute." And thus you have a woman so desperate for fuel, so desperate to manage the facade that she is a decent person, that she has footage created of her lurking like some mentalist by the side of the road, whilst a mother duck ushers her young across the road thinking, why is there a weird woman lurking in the foliage watching us? Is she there with some crispy pancakes and hoisin sauce? What's she waiting for? Why is she there? And not only does this one's wife ensure that this is filmed, she then posts this, once again, to Instagram. You would probably watch this footage, and you may well reach the conclusion, she's nuts. She's absolutely mental. Who the fuck engages in behaviour like this? Hanging around in the foliage at the side of the driveway, nothing on her feet, wearing an inappropriate dress that she seems to have put on because she knows she's going to be filmed. And then the over-the-top reaction on seeing Mother Duck and the ducklings, and waving her hands either side of her head as if she's had some kind of disco biscuit and is getting down at a rave. You would probably think to yourself, I am looking at a grade A mentalist. This woman is Cocoa Pops crazy. She is batshit nuts. It's understandable. And this would mean many people to think, is she? Is she actually mentally ill? Because she engages in behaviour like this. Well, in actual fact, it's simply the case that she's not mental, although I will accept that it looks mental to many people. But in actual fact, this is simply a narcissist in action, admittedly, a fairly basic one. one that isn't particularly evolved, one that doesn't have any real special skill sets, a narcissist that engages in certain behaviours which are laughable, that are ready to be ridiculed. But nevertheless, this still is the behaviour of a narcissist. I suspect that what has happened is that she has come across the ducks. Although, who knows? Given her penchant for turning up with shop-bought vegetables, I wouldn't put it past this lunatic to have gone and actually organised from someone from Ducks Are Us to bring Madame Quack Quack and her offspring along, and then ushered them across the road so that this one's wife can engage in her performative, cutesy appearance of, oh my God, look, they're so cute, I wave my hands in the air like a pissed up ninja. Or they just happened to be there, and naturally this one's wife immediately thought, rather than, oh look, a lovely bit of nature, let's just watch it and enjoy, or I'll film it for my own purposes. No. She, in effect, has to steal the thunder of Madame Quack Quack. She has to get in on the act. I'm going to ensure that I'm stood over here as they walk across the road. Oh look, the ducklings are joining her. This is such a cute moment. I'll perform an exaggerated movement. Of course, she doesn't think it is. What she's doing is she thinks she's being cute. She thinks she's witnessing something that's wholesome and cute. She thinks her reaction is wholesome and cute. And then she wants to share this supposedly wholesome and cute behaviour with the world on her Instagram, driven by her narcissism to assert control over the audience and draw fuel from them, but actually makes her look like she is a certified mentalist. She appears mental, but it's actually simply the behaviour of a narcissist. But what is interesting about this is that, as you know, there are very polished narcissists, very credible narcissists, very effective narcissists that you would take, you might not necessarily recognise as a narcissist to begin with, or it would take the skilled analysis of your glorious narrator to explain why they are one. That they would be often individuals that you would admire, that you would like to spend time with. And then there are narcissists such as this one's wife. Obvious, superficial, transparent. You now see that everything that she engages in is performative. What's laughable is that this woman's meant to be an actress, and this is her attempting to act like it's a cutesy occasion. And it just comes across as a mentalist and preposterous. This is a narcissist performing. This is a narcissist acting as if she's surprised and it's also cute, thinking that it's genuine, when in actual fact anybody with informed knowledge as a consequence of my work is able to see that this is simply another performative action on the part of this one's wife, one that has many people increasingly questioning her sanity, and understandably so. But once again, it is, quite simply, a manifestation of her narcissism writ large. Is this indicative of some wider spiral into madness on her part? No. This is simply the way that this one's wife behaves. Such is her level of desperation to seek fuel, she will engage in more and more preposterous acts because attention is dwindling to some degree. But it's not that she's descending into madness. It's simply she is behaving the type of mid-range narcissist that she is, but with less and less polish, as the demands upon her become all the more increased, and the threats to the control that she requires become all the greater. She appears mental. She isn't mental. She's a narcissist. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for watching.